Let's come back to France now, where the funeral for the high school teacher who was killed last week is being held today. Dominique Bernard was stabbed to death at his school by a former student and suspected Islamist extremist. The suspect has since been charged with terror offenses after it came out he had sworn allegiance to the Islamic State extremist group in an audio recording before the attack. The French president, Emmanuel Macron, is expected to attend that funeral service today. Well, Claire Paquelin is also in the northern French town of Arras, where the attack happened and where the funeral's also taking place. Claire, you've been speaking to many people there. I can only imagine the shock and sadness they're still feeling.
I'm standing here just near a large screen where people who've come here have gathered to watch the funeral take place live. It will be broadcast here, and there really is a feeling of shock that this could happen in Arras. People repeatedly saying to me, this kind of thing doesn't happen here. I recently spoke to a man whose children used to go to the high school where Dominique Bernard taught, and he said Jews and Christians and Muslims get on well in Arras. We have good community relations. This is not something that should tear us apart or fracture us or make fractures within our relationships. And he also said school is not a place for violence. This is a place for knowledge, for learning. I spoke to a few young people who were at the school where Dominique Bernard recently, and they were saying to me they really couldn't believe this had happened, and they just felt they owed it to the family to be here today to show their support. Dominique Bernard leaving behind a wife who was a teacher herself and 3 daughters. I was also speaking to another French literature professor, a teacher here, and she said that she became a teacher thanks to Dominique Bernard. She used to go to university with him, and she said that she has memories of staying up all night when they were in their early 20s discussing and reading French literature together. So he's known here in Arras as a passionate teacher, a kind-hearted, soft-spoken man, and he will be sorely missed here in this town.
I'm sure that's the case. In the meantime, Claire, more has come out about what motivated the attacker to carry out this horrible tragedy, the killing of this high school teacher. What more can you tell us about the motivations?
We are getting more elements coming through from the ongoing investigation. We know that he's known as Mohammed M in the investigation. That's what the prosecutor in charge of it is calling him. He was born in Russia in the Caucasus region, came to France when he was 5 years old. He was 20 when he carried out the attack. He is, of course, in custody. He's been charged with terrorism offences, as has his younger brother, who is believed to have helped show him how to use the 2 knives that he used during the attack, and his cousin as well. It's believed that his cousin was aware that the attack that was going to take place, but he didn't do anything about it or report it to the police. We also know that 100 people have been questioned in this attack, and on the telephone of the attacker, Mohammed M, on that telephone, he made an audio recording saying how much he hated France. He hated what he called the values of French people. He hated the education he had received. He hated democracy, and of course he pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group too.